welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So today I'm going to be doing a drugstore makeup tag video. The original poster is Jen Phelps, but I actually first saw the video from Jessica Braun, and I've never actually done any kind of makeup tags like this, or like where you answer questions, so I thought it would be really fun. No one tagged me in it because my channel is tiny, even though I'm kind of close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, which is huge for me. But yeah, no one tagged me in it, so I just thought it would be fun to do, and yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I have 14 drugstore makeup related questions, and I'm gonna go over some of my favorites, some things I think are a little overhyped. Before I get started, make sure you give this video a like. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, even though I typically don't do makeup tag videos. I do a lot of hair videos if you're into that. So to start off, the number one question is, if you could only use one drugstore / affordable brand, what would it be? Immediately, the first brand I thought of was e.l.f. e.l.f. is one of the first brands I started using when I started using makeup because it was so cheap. Like back then, all of their products were $1 to $2. So if you were like, I was probably in middle school trying to start off on makeup and you don't have much money, it's a great option. And e.l.f. has really upped their game within the past years. Like they now have their like e.l.f. Pro line, I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but where they have like the nicer skincare brushes. They've come out with a lot more variety of products as the makeup industry has grown. And I thought of all of the products I have from e.l.f. and I think I might have the most from that brand because I knew I had an e.l.f. primer, foundation, brow pencil, highlighter, brushes. I'm looking over at my makeup trying to remember. Concealer. Like I have so many of their products. If I were to use just one brand, I think that they have enough variety that I would be completely covered. I already use some of their skincare products and I really love them. And all of the makeup products I own, I'm pretty sure I like every single one because I can't think of anything I own that doesn't get used. And they are so affordable. Even their Pro line with the more expensive brushes and products are still on the cheap end for drugstore, I would say, because drugstore prices seem to just be going up and up. And it used to be where you could find a ton of stuff under $10, but now it seems like everyone is charging over $10 for a lot of products. But with e.l.f., there's so much under 10. And they're cruelty-free, which is huge because I'm trying to start only buying cruelty-free products going forward. The next question is, what is the most underrated drugstore / affordable brand? The most underrated brand I thought of was Essence. Essence is like e.l.f. in that it is so cheap and they have things for like $1 to $2. You can't find them everywhere. I know that they are in Ulta, and then they also have them at Meijer, which is by me, but that's not like a national chain. But I think they have so many good products, and also when you compare the prices of their products to other drugstore brands, that makes it so much better. I've used their brow products and their eyeliners and I've really liked them, but I never see anyone talking about them. If I buy an Essence product, it's typically because I'm choosing to try it versus hearing good things about it on other people's channels. And I don't think a lot of people actually dive deep into this brand. The next question is, what is the most overrated drugstore brand? This one I wasn't entirely sure on because I like products from this brand, but I said ColourPop. ColourPop has some amazing products, and I think I have some bias because I've been very annoyed with their marketing strategy, I guess you'd say. Within the past year, they have just been pushing out products. It seems like every couple of days, even every week. Like when they were doing the color inspired palettes where like it was all blues, all greens, a new one was coming out, it seemed, every single week. And it was overwhelming. Like there were palettes I wanted to try, but then a week later, there'd be a new one that they're pushing out. And it was just so overwhelming and unnecessary that I just wanted to step away from the brand for a while. I don't buy anything from Anastasia, but I've heard that they have a similar situation with their palettes, or at least within the past year, where they're just constantly pumping out new ones. Like you get hyped about one palette and then before you know it, there's a new palette they're saying you need, and your current palette is like old hat. I can't afford to buy all of their palettes. I think it would be wiser to let each palette have their own time to get their hype, to have people make videos on it before pushing out the next one. So that's mainly why I wrote them as the overrated brand, because I'm just kind of tired of them. The fourth question is, what is your favorite liquid highlighter. This isn't something I've seen advertised very much. You can get a beautiful natural glow with it, but you can also build it up if you're looking for that high shine. And it doesn't emphasize texture. It looks really nice on the skin. A little bit goes a long way, so I've had the same tube for months. Something else that came to mind were e.l.f. brushes. Not all of their brushes are under $5, but I have a few that I use quite regularly that were $2 or $3 that are soft and haven't been shedding and just work really well. Number 5 is, what is a hidden gem from the drugstore that no one talks about? So I want to mention 2 products, and these aren't technically in all drugstore. You'd have to go to Ulta to get this, but it is the Ulta Ultra Slim Brow Pencil. This is my favorite brow pencil. I've been using this for well over a year. I typically wait for Ulta to have the buy 2 get 2, and then I will use that. And I will also use a $3.50 off 15 or a 20% coupon so I can get them for a lot cheaper, because they are $10 and I don't buy them when they're 10. I wait till they are on some kind of sale so I can get them closer to $5. I prefer a brow pencil that's really, really slim, and the formula of this is really great because it's not too soft and it's not too hard where you have to press down on your eyebrows, and it has pretty good staying power. They also have a wide variety of shades, which I can't say for a lot of drugstore brands. Sometimes they just have like a black, brown, light brown, blonde option. And I also really love the Ulta brand Flushed Blush. I always struggle to say that. Flushed Blush. It is a glowy blush, so it's like kind of in between a highlighter and a blush, but it looks really beautiful on the skin, and I love the look of blush with a little bit of shimmer in it. The next question is, what's your favorite drugstore foundation? So my favorite drugstore foundation is actually discontinued. It is the CYO Life Proof Foundation. I still have several bottles of it, so it's not going anywhere out of my collection. But that is my ultimate foundation, that it always looks good when I wear it. But since that's no longer available, I said the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. I feel like my favorite foundation honestly changes with every coming month, but the Catrice one is what I'm currently loving. It looks very soft on the skin. I don't need to set it, and it has medium coverage that's buildable to medium high coverage. Okay, what products do you tend to buy more at the drugstore versus high-end? I don't really buy high-end makeup really at all, honestly, but if I were to, I would say I would stick to drugstore for brow products. I found great success with drugstore brow products, and I just don't see the need in spending $20 or more on a product when what I have works just great. Number 8, what's your favorite drugstore dupe? No, I missed one. Oop. Number 8, what drugstore brand do you think is overpriced? This one I sat and thought about for honestly 15 minutes because I couldn't think of any that I thought were honestly overpriced. Physicians Formula is a little bit higher in price compared to other drugstore brands, but I think their products are so good that it's worth it. So saying overpriced is kind of tricky. I don't really want to give an answer for this because I feel like any answer I give is not complete. Number 9, what's your favorite drugstore dupe? For this, I said the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. So I have used the Tarte Shape Tape concealer in the past, and I really, really liked it, and that was one product that I'd actually be okay with spending the extra money to purchase high-end. But once e.l.f. came out with their Camo Concealer, I started hearing that it was a dupe for the Shape Tape, and once I tried it, I just really love it. A little bit goes a long way. It dries down super quickly, but it looks so nice underneath the eyes, and since using it, I don't feel the need to repurchase the Tarte Shape Tape. Number 10, what's the best drugstore eyeshadow formula? I've heard some back and forth about the eyeshadows from this brand, but this brand has never let me down, and I really love the pigment, the blendability, and it is Morphe. My go-to palette is the Morphe 35V because it has so many neutral shades that I can use, and I love the formula of the shimmer shades. They're so buttery and so pigmented, and they look incredible. Again, you can't find Morphe in an actual drugstore, but it's available in the affordable section of Ulta, and I just love their formulas. They may not work for everyone, but I love the way they work for me. The next question is, what is the worst drugstore eyeshadow formula? This one I wasn't entirely sure on because it seems like it's a palette by palette situation. Like, I've heard some good things about Maybelline palettes, I've heard some bad things about Maybelline palettes, but the one that came to mind the most was Wet n Wild. I have heard good things about some of their eyeshadow palettes, but in my experience, the ones I've tried aren't that great, and their shimmer shades aren't as pigmented as I prefer. Number 12 is a drugstore brand that you used to love but aren't crazy about anymore. So a brand I really loved in high school was Revlon. Back then, when I was in high school, the makeup industry was nowhere near what it is today, and Revlon was honestly some of the more expensive drugstore makeup because I couldn't always afford to get it. But I think they haven't really kept up with the times. The makeup industry is so fast paced, so there's always something new, always a new trend. And other brands have gotten on that trend train, but I think Revlon is a lot slower. And it seems like their marketing isn't as personalized to what the makeup industry is today. It could be that they're just focusing on the non-makeup addict side, like the people that buy one foundation, one brow product, and just repurchase when they run out. And if that's working for them, that's great. But I don't see them a whole lot when people do favorite drugstore videos or coming out with hyped up new products. It seems like they stay pretty safe with what they do. Number 13, drugstore product you didn't expect to like but totally wowed you. It's actually a product I've purchased very recently. I was at Meijer and I wanted to buy the Essence Lash Princess mascara, but they were out and I really wanted to get a new mascara before I went on a trip. So I had a $2 off coupon for CoverGirl and I just kind of last minute decided to try the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara, and I'm so glad I did because it is so beautiful. It's very lengthening, it adds volume. It does a really good job of curling my lashes up, and it's a pretty good price, especially with my coupon, so I don't really have anything bad to say about it. The 14th and final question is favorite affordable eyeshadow. The 14th and final question is your favorite affordable eyeshadow palette right now. So I haven't actually tried these out, but I've heard countless good things about the e.l.f. bite-sized shadows. I think there's like 3 or 4 small shadows in like this tiny little palette, and they're $3. I really want to try them, but I also want to use up what I have so that way I don't just clog my inventory. But I've heard numerous people say incredible things about them. As far as ones that I've actually tried, I'm going to say the LA Girl Hot Heat palette. It has some neutral shades in there, some pink shades, which I really like using pink shades. I really enjoy the formulas. I think they're very blendable. The shimmer shades are pretty powerful. I think it's just an overall great palette for every day, or if I really want to do like a glammed up look, there are some deeper pinks in there so that I can. I think there are also a couple of orange shades, but every shadow in that palette I like. You know how some palettes, like a lot of them will be good, but there'll be a couple that are just don't seem like the same formula. I know you can't get this palette everywhere. When it first came out, it was really hard for me to get my hands on it, but I believe it was around $15, so it's fairly affordable. The pan sizes are pretty good, and I think there are 18 shadows in the palette. That completes this drugstore makeup tag video. If you have a channel, I highly suggest you do this because it was a lot of fun. I will list all of the products I mentioned in my video down below in the description box if you want to check them out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video.